All right. Welcome back, guys. This is the next episode of the Summit Podcast. I'm here with Robin Mullins today, fellow Wyndhamite from back in the day at Wyndham High School, but also representing Octagon Cleaning and Restoration right here in Wyndham, and also two other locations now. Where?
So we actually have 3 locations in total in Maine. We have one in Fairfield, one in Brewer, and we have 2 in New Hampshire, one in Barrington, New Hampshire, and one
That's
in
crazy.
the Lake Winnipesaukee area, Meredith, New Hampshire. So
Unreal.
my brother started the company about 23 years ago, and he is doing a phenomenal job. People love using a restoration company that's locally owned.
Yep.
And I'm his business development manager. I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and he hasn't fired me yet. So,
You can't fire your assistant.
He absolutely could.
You know, I mentioned before we started talking, it's been fun to watch, but I had no idea. I'm like, wow, that Octagon, they're doing really well. They bought this building, and now down here, they're doing a great job. I didn't know they had any other locations, or that you guys did. So that's good. What do you like best about working for your brother? I'll put you on the spot.
What do I like? But what I like working best with Rob is his motto. His motto is do no harm.
Oh, nice.
And when we work with clients, you're dealing with mold, you're dealing with water damage, fire damage, you're dealing with things that aren't very much fun, right? And we want to be there for our clients. We want to make sure that they are taken care of.
True.
And, there are some companies out there that, there's mold and they go and they spray chemicals and whatever. And, sometimes chemicals are necessary. That's the only way to get rid of the mold. But, you can get rid of mold with soap and Dawn dish detergent and water, right?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Or, if it's on sheetrock, we're going to cut it out, and get it removed from the house. And, I love his motto that, do no harm. We want to go in and we want to be as, not intrusive if at all possible, get in there quickly and take care of people. And, some people, struggle with chemicals and the smells and whatever. So how do we encapsulate the room and whatever and keep everything in one area so it's not escaping?
It's a neat business. You've had to learn a lot about it just to be business development, right?
Yeah, I've had to. Yeah. I will never know as much as Rob. When he talks, you just stop and you just listen because he is a wealth of knowledge. It's absolutely incredible. But he, has tried to help me so that I learn, what's going on. I spend time with our project managers who are the ones out in the field and making sure that, I understand. Yeah. In order to sell the business, you got to understand the business. So.
Who are you guys marketing to? Certainly, if we had mold in this space, it was a single family resident, but who's your client? Is it more the insurance companies or is it just the resident?
So it's both, really. So we do residential and commercial. Okay. So for residential, obviously, it's a homeowner. We want people to know. My motto from a business development perspective is get to know us before you need us.
Oh, I like that.
Think about it, right? If you've got a finished basement here, if you were to get a water intrusion in here, it's a little bit emotional. You're panicking. That is not the time that you want to figure out who your restoration company is going to be.
You're meeting these guys on a terrible day. Probably.
One of the worst days, right? Exactly. And most of the time it's not cheap. It's, and sometimes it's covered by insurance. Sometimes it's not covered by insurance. So it's really an emotional time. So we want to make sure that we're going in and we're taking care of the client.
Yeah.
And, so on the residential side, there's that. But on the commercial side, we try to create relationships with property managers.
Okay.
Facility managers, people who are in charge of lots of different buildings, so that when something happens, same thing. They're like, I don't know who to call for this. You know what? We have a relationship with Octagon. And in some cases, we may do their air duct cleaning. We may do carpet cleaning. So we're doing some preventive stuff with them already.
That's what I was going to ask. You guys are set. My question was, what's the ratio cleaning to, and you may not know the answer, how much cleaning versus how much restoration?
So quite honestly, we don't do a lot of cleaning. We're not a cleaning company. We don't go and clean people's houses. Okay. And if we're going in, so a carpet cleaning, we're not going to do that for a residential. But if it's a big enough space, we'll go and we'll do it for a property management company, knowing that we're going to build that relationship and that hopefully when something does happen,
inevitably,
they will give us a call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. We like it a lot. Been there, you said, a year and a half. How many employees across the board?
So he has about 50 in total.
No kidding.
Yep. Yep. And if I had to guess, probably 30 vehicles. People cannot miss the vehicles, the black vehicles with
the branding is on. It's really good.
He did an amazing job. That's the same. I haven't changed any of the branding because it's recognizable. People know it, especially in Maine. And it's interesting, when I first got this position, I had to go to the dentist for something, and I had my Octagon shirt on, and she says, "Octagon, I drive by there every single day." She goes, "I love your trucks." And I said, "So do you know what we do?" And she said, "No." I said, "That's why I got hired."
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, as a general contractor for years, and it was Serve Pro and who the other one was, I can't, Service Master or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They were the two big dogs. And so if something happened, and sometimes by the time I got there, they had already been there, ripped out a bunch of stuff, blowers under the carpets, clients already, 30, 40 grand deep and going, what do I do? But I always felt it was just like a open checkbook, I'm like, man, you just don't, how much is it going to cost? Nobody knows, right? So it must have been 20 or so years ago when you guys came to town, so to speak, I was always kind of like, yeah, all right, another option, right? Yeah. And I think if I remember right, we have done business together, either with my company or a different one, but always like a local company to, have an alternative, so.
And that's one of the things I'm impressed with in doing my business development is people like working with local companies, and they trust them. And so it's nice to be able to say, yep, we are locally owned. And, my dad has worked there. I work there. Yeah. My nephews both work there. Sure. So, the family is there, which is really cool.
Well, that's cool. What's the plan? Get a bunch of locations? Does it just continue to dominate the world here? Or does he have a limit on how he's going to expand? Yeah,
well, I don't honestly know because a lot of that he keeps in his head. But yeah, he's definitely wants to, to continue. I don't know if you know exactly where his building is, right there on 302 as you come in.
Yeah.
So he has a space there. So he's looking at building a bigger space and, maybe having that facility. He also has a construction company, which is Octagon Construction. And the great thing about having the construction company is, so if this basement were to get flooded,
you could handle it all.
Well, we're going to come in here and we're going to take out the sheetrock and whatever, but we're going to walk away. And then you're like, well, what do I do now? Well, we now have a sister company that can come in and actually put everything together for you. So
is that across the board on all locations or just, Okay.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. So I don't know how he sleeps at night because I've only done the construction side of that on a much smaller scale. So he sounds like quite a guy. I don't know that I've ever met him personally, but sounds like a great business, doing a great job.
He's doing a fantastic
great things. Yeah. Talk to me about retention a little bit. I mean, 50 people, right? Are you guys going through employees or are people staying?
I think it's a little of both. Yeah. I think he's had quite a few employees that have been around for a really long time. I'm going to give at least two of them a shout out because Brindy Riley and Matt Richardson have been with him for a number of years. They're project managers. They are both fantastic. And but I don't think people realize, jokingly, my youngest daughter was looking for work and she said, well, Uncle Rob's hiring, right? And I'm like, yeah.
Always.
I think people realize how difficult the work is. In the summertime, you might be in an attic and it could be, well over 100 degrees.
Wearing a Tyvek suit and it's gonna be some dirty work, nasty work.
There was actually a time when, again, trying to understand the business, I literally was in a crawl space in a Tyvek suit and a respirator on my back, cleaning something that was like right here.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
And I was thinking I'm going to be freaking out, but I did it. But for some people that's not a good thing.
Right.
So
well, it's cool. I mean, when I do a podcast and I talk to people about their companies, I always just ask them a little bit like, what should people know about you guys? What would you like people to know about Octagon?
I would like for people to know about Octagon is that we care.
Yeah.
When we talk to our project managers about going out, it's not about selling the job. It's about asking the client, what is it that you need? And I'll give you an example. I was talking to somebody the gentleman had mold and he had a built-in shelf, and he did not want that shelf to go away. And there had been other companies that had come in and said, "There's no way, we got to get rid of it." And it was my brother that actually went and took a look at it, and he said, we'll save it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like listening to what the client wants and what can we do. I mean, obviously we can't do that in every situation, but if we can, you have to listen. And we work with insurance companies, and hopefully
That's got to be a nightmare. I mean,
insurance companies can be very difficult to work with, but hopefully people have coverage for what it is that they're dealing with. And so it's a necessary evil. We have to deal with it.
Yep. And when you do that, are you getting paid by the insurance company or paid by the client?
We're getting paid by the client.
Yeah. Okay.
Ultimately the insurance company is paying for it. Sometimes they'll pay the client, who then pays us. Sometimes the insurance company will pay us directly. It all depends on the situation.
I did a few insurance jobs. It always made me a little bit uncomfortable when there was somebody in the insurance office telling me here's what it's going to cost you to re-drywall that wall. I'm like, dude, that's not what it costs. It's more than that, So I'm sure you have those discussions and kind of meet in the middle.
And one of the things we do is we also reach out on a regular basis to a lot of insurance adjusters in the area to, again, just like building those relationships with property managers and facility managers, how do we build those relationships with insurance adjusters so that when we are working with them, they're like, oh yeah, Matt reaches out to me every single month, and knowing who they are.
Well, as the business development person, who's your if you could have anybody in the world see this, who would you want to see this?
Oh wow, that's a very interesting question. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that.
You got property managers. You got who's your dream client?
Yeah, well, we do
commercial.
Yeah, like Bulos and things.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, which we do have them. They do refer to us, so I guess I have to admit that.
How do you like? Do you guys work in town Portland much? That's got to be tough.
Just some in town Portland. Yeah, we go where the work is. So
parking,
Yeah, we like I said, we go where the work is. We've gone out to some of the islands because not a lot of the restoration companies will travel out there. So we'll get out to the islands and and visit with people and whatever. So
good. Well, good to catch up and talk a little bit about Octagon. I'm glad you wore your shirt. Get the branding going on.
Yes.
That's awesome. And guys, check out Octagon Cleaning and Restoration right here, like born and bred here in Windham, Maine. They're a great group of people, family owned and operated. This is Robin Mullins, and she's the business development specialist. Business development manager for Octagon. So check these guys out. And if you have an issue, like when should someone call you? They call you before the insurance company, or they say, hey, oh my word, my basement's flooded. What do I do?
They should probably call us first so that we can get on site as quickly as possible. And then they can call the insurance company. And, we've dealt with every insurance company out there, but what we want to do is we want to get there as quickly as possible so we can help alleviate. So let's say if you have water, right? Yeah. We want to make sure that we're getting that damage. So first we're going to make sure the water is shut off.
Sure.
And we want to make sure that a potentially $10,000 job doesn't turn into a $20,000 or $30,000 job because we waited to get in there and get it started.
100%. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, it's great to talk about Octagon a little bit.
Yes.
Now, I want to switch over and talk about the Derby.
Yes.
Right. So you're with the Chamber of Commerce here in Windham.
So no, actually, and I have to put a shout out.
You were.
So I was. Okay. I used to be the CEO of the Sebago Lakes Region Chamber of Commerce, and I was stolen away by Octagon to go work for them.
Okay.
And I do want to have a shout out to Octagon because the Rotary. I've been a Rotarian for several years.
Sure.
And when I came to Octagon, I said, I'd like to continue to be part of the Rotary. I'm the current president of the Rotary Club. And, obviously it's going to take up some of my time. Right. And, they give back to the community in so many different ways. So, not a problem for me to participate in.
Yeah, that's great.
So, so I'm the current president. I'll actually be the president this year and next year.
Nice.
And our biggest event for the fundraiser is the Sebago Lake Ice Fishing Derby.
All right. Get the toad out of the lake, right?
Well, yes. And it's interesting. People think, toad, lake trout. They're like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be there. And it's not actually a natural fish
Yeah.
for the, well, it is, but
Should be in
there's
there.
so
Yeah.
many of
Yeah.
them, right? And we want salmon and things.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons the ice derby was started was to get that fish out.
The number down.
Yeah, to get the number down. And one of the things I love about this event is it has so many different benefits. And obviously, we're a small club here in the Spago Lake region, so we need to have fundraisers because we like to give money to local food pantries. And, you know, when the school has the backpack program, we want to be able to give to the backpack program and things like that. And we obviously can't do those things unless we have funds. So the fishing derby is our biggest fundraiser at all. It also gets the togue out of the lake, right? Which is a really big deal. And when
people have a blast with it. I mean,
so that's the other part of it, right? When I was the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, I loved it because it was beneficial to the economy.
right.
People are coming from Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. They're coming from everywhere. If they need a place to stay, they're going to be eating food. They're going to be spending gas. They're going to be going to our bait shops, right? So they're spending all of this money and stuff, which is really good for the region, especially in the wintertime because we aren't so busy in the wintertime.
True. Yeah, true.
As we are in the summer.
And we've got, so it's cold. I mean, we're getting you when you first came over, I'm like, let's get go. We got ice. And you're like, yeah, we got some ice this year.
We have ice this year, which is so, I'm so excited. We actually had, we meet every week.
Yep.
And we had our meeting today, and Channel 8 is the TV station that covers the event for us. And I guess the weatherman said like 3 times today in his morning thing, like, Sebago's frozen over, Sebago's frozen over. And so,
Now, you guys on snowmobiles, be careful. Don't go scooting across there too quickly. It seems like every time that freezes, something bad happens. But hopefully everything will be all right. So it's not just Sebago, though, right? It's not.
no, so unfortunately, Mother Nature hasn't been so good to us as it has been this year. So it's really been one of those things where we still want to continue to have the event. And a few years ago, we said, you know what, let's continue to have the event, but any lake or pond in Cumberland County can be fished.
Wow.
And
Different divisions too, not obviously not just togue, but a different.
Oh, no, there's togue, there's pike, there's perch, there's prizes for all different things. And, you know, off the top of my head, I don't know what they are, but if people want to go to icefishingderby.com,
All right.
they can get all of the rules. They can register there. It's only $25 for a person.
Cheap enough.
$35 for a family.
Cool, guys.
And what's fantastic about registering is just by registering, even if you don't end up fishing, something happens, you're still eligible for a $5,000 cash prize.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Is a polar dip part of that thing? If I remember people jumping in the lake, are they doing that?
So the polar dip was part of it. That is something that the Chamber of Commerce now kind of runs. Yeah. And unfortunately, because the ice conditions were always a little iffy,
You stop doing it.
they've moved it. It's actually now in April, about the time the ice comes out of the lake.
Well.
So it's still cold.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But instead of cutting a hole in the ice, which is what we used to do, and you can actually just run in. And I actually did it 2 years ago for the first time. Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of friends in for a coaching event, and they wanted to do a polar dip. So I took them to Raymond Beach, and it was February, and there was no ice. And we just went off the boat launch, and they were in and out pretty quickly, but it was brutal. So how many people do you usually get that take part in the Derby?
Yeah, so it all depends. I mean, obviously the years when Spago is available. So we'll probably have 500 plus registrants this year. You know, on a slower year, we might get a couple hundred or whatever.
Yeah. And if you guys think that's as many people as be out on the ice, you're wrong. I mean, you drive by Raymond Beach, you drive by the overlook on 35 towards Standish, go over by the water district, go up anywhere around this lake. You're going to see people. It's like a village out there. It's very well supported. People get excited about it. And it's been how many years that you've been doing it?
This is our 25th year, which is why I'm so excited. It's been 25 years and it's still going strong.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, you do a lot. You've been involved in the chamber and, Rotary and all that kind of stuff. And it seems to suit you.
I absolutely love it. I used to chair the Summerfest committee with a couple of people and do Summerfest. And my mom was one of those people that volunteered and helped and whatever. So I just kind of fell in her footsteps. And I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. People say I'm a little bit outgoing, so who knows? And so I do enjoy doing it. I used to coach my girls' soccer teams when they were younger, and basketball, and all those things I did when I was in high school.
Right. Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bailey switched over to, she played softball. She switched to dance. So I was out of the coaching game. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, high five. Because both of my girls were competitive dancers and cheerleaders. And I was, not
like having a kid in college.
They are athletes. So I had to be very careful because I'm like, well, I was an athlete in high school. And I'm like, I would watch my girls and I was like,
sport.
yeah. Well, yeah. And both of my girls were flyers. So they were on the top of the pyramid. And every time they were up there being thrown around, I was like, oh, dear God. So,
I know it.
Yeah.
Goes fast, doesn't it? Bailey's 27.
Cassidy will be 27 in February. So, yeah. And Ainsley is, she's 24, will be 25 in April.
That's crazy. John's doing well.
John's doing great. John is a store manager at the Oxford Hannaford. He's been with Hannaford 30 plus years.
Yep.
So he's doing really well.
Back in the USM days.
Yeah.
That's when I first met him. So.
Well, it's funny because I told him if we knew each other when he was at USM and I was at USM, I said we probably wouldn't be together because I heard stories, right?
College
but,
right?
Yeah. But we met at Hannaford. We both worked at Hannaford.
No kidding.
And so that's how we met.
That's cool.
In June will be 30 years that we
married. Congrats. That's awesome. Well, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate you coming over and sitting down for a while.
Yeah.
Is there anything I've forgotten to ask you about the Derby or anything you want people to know about the Derby before we wrap it up?
Yeah. So the only other thing that I can think about the Derby that I think is important is all of that togue that comes out of the lake. We actually take that togue and we process it through Nova Seafood.
Okay.
And that is then processed and given to local food pantries.
Oh, nice.
So, talking about all of the benefits of the Derby, that is one more benefit where we're helping. And and a lot of the money that we raise does go to local food pantries as well to help with that. So it's a great event. People love it. I'm excited that we have ice this year. Please register icefishingderby.com and
icefishingderby.com, guys. Get it. Sign up. And also don't forget to follow the Summit Podcast, either on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. This will always live on YouTube. You could take this and use it to promote the Ice Fishing Derby. And maybe you show it to your brother Rob and say, hey, we talked about Octagon a little bit.
We have a YouTube channel. I can put it on our
for sure. I'll definitely, we'll subscribe to that. But it's good to see. I was trying to figure out how many years it had been. And Paul was here sitting right there, Paul Rumo, last week. And it had been 38 years. And it's got to be, I don't know. We've probably seen each other at some event in the last 10 or 15 years. But
because of our kids.
Yeah, the kids and stuff. So it's been a long time. And the kids grow up and the parents go like that too. And you don't catch up. So it was good to have you. I appreciate you coming over. If you want to do another Octagon one, or maybe get Rob on here sometime, I'd love to pick his brain.
He would love it.
Get him on. He's probably busy as a one-arm paper hanger, as they say. But Rob will get you in the seat here sometime and do a podcast together. So, Robin, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been great. Guys, it's been the Summit Podcast. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Take care, guys. We'll see you.